Hi friends, in this video we'll have a look at what is a file, how to create a file in C. So how to read it, write it, close it if you want, how to append it, what are the different modes that is there in file. Okay, before going into that, let's go to the real world and see what is the purpose of a file in a real world. It helps you to organize your documents and store it in a safe way, in a better manner, so that your retrieval is faster and then your data is safe. Okay, it's not lost somewhere in the dust. Okay, so these are the two main purpose of a file. Okay, the same thing applies to programming world as well. For example, if you have some contents like a student's name, whatever you want to do. So if you want to save it, this helps. Let's go to the manual process, what happens in the real world. Generally, if you want to take a file, we'll take the file from the shelf using the name or the ID. For example, third file, blue color, all those things. We will open it, we'll modify, rewrite it or add it something to it and then close it and keep it back in the shelf. Okay, the same exact procedure we'll use it in the programming world as well. Okay, there is no much difference. So here the storage is a hard disk, so you read it from the hard disk using a name or ID, open it. So once you open it, you do a read or write or append whatever you want to do it, so and close it. That's it. It's a direct one-to-one mapping for the real world, nothing different from what we do in the things. For doing that, we have a lot of helper functions. The first function is fopen. I mean, it is very descriptive. File open, that's called fopen. Okay, so that's the first part in that. So in that you have to give the name and the mode of the file so that it does in a better way. Okay, there are other things as well for reading and writing. So that is called printf or fgets, fputs, all those things are there, which helps you to read and write the file. Okay, so in the fopen, the name here is like it will have the complete path of the file where you have stored, whether it's a C colon or D colon. If it is a Windows, it's it's Unix. If it is from the root, where is the root, all those things. Okay, so as I said, for printing, putting the data or writing the data, we have fprintf, fputs, putchar, a lot of things, functions are there. So for writing a file, first you need to get a handle. So that will be given once you open the file using fopen. Okay, that handle will be the place, it's like your door handle. Okay, so which will help you to write or read the data from the file. Okay, next is close. So once you are done with the write, you just do a close. Okay, close is very simple, like give the file pointer and say that I want to close the file, so it will automatically close it for you, so you don't need to worry about anything. And there is something specially called EOF, end of file it's called. So it's a marker which says like this is the place where the file ends. Generally, if you are a human, you are smart enough to read when the file is with the full stop or it's at the end of the file, but for computers it's not as smart as you are. So what it does is like it puts a marker saying that a special character which says that this is the end of file. Okay, so once the end of file is reached, it stops reading. Okay, or you have to stop reading when it is there. Okay, so that's how the program goes in. So now get into the modes. So in the fopen we have two things. One is the name, second one is the mode, right? So we didn't discuss much about the mode. Okay, so in this slide we'll have a look at the modes in detail. There are different modes in which you can open a file. Either you can open a file in a read mode. Read mode is a purpose where you are just opening it for a reading purpose. You are not going to modify anything. Okay, so 10 people can open a file in a read mode without having any issues. Simultaneously, I'm saying. It's not one by one, simultaneously. Because everybody is just reading the file. Okay. So the next mode is the write mode. Okay. Here we have something called a marker. Okay. So write mode is the mode where you want to write something into the file which you have opened it. Okay, so in this case the marker is set in first and the second case, the marker is set to the first character of the opened file, so that if you start writing, it might overwrite the data which you have already there. So the first thing, the next mode is the append mode. Append mode is the one which opens the file for writing and it sets the the file pointer to the last location, so that you will be writing without having any hassle of overwriting. Okay, these are the 3 modes. Let's look at the code sample. Okay, the code sample is pretty straightforward. So there is a macro called file, and you declare a pointer for it, star fp, file pointer. You can name the variable as you want, like my file pointer or file pointer, whatever you want to do it. So then the function call is fopen. Fopen, I'm first argument is the file name. So what when you give double quotes, it means that it is present in the current directory. Okay, the directory where the exe is going to be generated, and I'm opening it in the write mode so that I can write something to it. Okay, so that's the thing. What I'm going to write, I'm going to write line. This is a sample line. This is what I'm going to write, and for writing, you have to tell the function, right, which file you want to write. So for that, instead of giving the whole name, you give the file pointer, so it will start writing for it. So once you are done, so okay, I am giving my output as myfile.exe. If I type myfile.exe, so it will open the file and write it. Let's go to the folder and check it whether we have created a file and wrote it. So if you see here, there is a file which is newly created, and if you open, it contains the line which we have written there using fprintf. So how to check the end of EOF condition, that is the first workout which you have to do it. Okay, so hint is FEOF. There is a thing called FEOF. Check it out that. And how to check a successful open. So I have just used it, right, fopen without checking. So how to check it, that's the second question. And there is a binary file, whatever you have written is called text file. So how to open a binary file. Okay, and fseek is another important command which you should know, function which you should know. So, and write a small program to read or write data from 10 integers to a file. And very important question, what is the difference between a database and a file? You should know it, when to use database, when to use file. Okay, this is one of the key thing which you have to understand. Okay, if you last but not least, the fscanf thing. So if you understand fscanf, you will be better. So if you are able to answer all the questions, you are good enough in files. Okay, thank you friends, bye bye.